Invincible versus Gohan. Two powerful kids of powerful heroes. Two members of alien conquering races. But in this fight, well, who's ultimately gonna be the last one standing? Really, is it even gonna be close? Let's get into it. And starting out, well, let's spend a bit of time talking about everyone's favorite Viltrumite, Invincible. So for starters, well, why are the Viltrumites so stinking powerful? Well, it's because they have access to smart atoms, molecularly the same as normal atoms, but they give access to all sorts of power on the atomic level. And Viltrumites are unique because they can use smart atoms for a whole lot of different powers. Super strength, super speed, flight. They're the only race in the universe to have smart atoms literally encoded inside their DNA. That's what makes them so powerful. And just how powerful are they? Well, with super strength, most higher tier Viltrumites are in a class all their own, like Conquest, where he can casually bust out of solid 400-ton solid steel blocks encased all around his body, as well as 6 miles of earth caving in on top of him. And even that's not enough to overpower Invincible. Invincible and Conquest had some of the greatest fights in the entire series, leveling towns, busting apart mountains, creating whole new canyons, and basically terraforming the planet as a result of their showdowns. Invincible came out on top both times, beating Conquest and eventually killing him. During his fight against Invincible, well, Omni-Man was punching Mark so hard that he was shaking entire mountains, and doing this repeatedly. In fact, Omni-Man was sending Mark flying all over the planet, causing earthquakes each time that he landed. But while Invincible definitely got dominated in that first fight, that actually didn't stay that way for long. In fact, there was a moment later in the series when Mark decided to arm wrestle against his dad. While his dad won, it was actually because Mark let his dad win. Mark saw that they were being watched, and he didn't want anyone to question the legitimacy of his dad's claim to the throne because his son was stronger than him. Omni-Man later explained that doesn't really work that way, but it does suggest that Invincible had surpassed Omni-Man in strength by this point. There have been plenty of instances where people have said that Viltrumites are able to destroy worlds, even physically tear them apart with their bare hands. You know what? We've actually seen that. Omni-Man, Invincible, and Thaddeus all teamed up to destroy the planet Viltrum, which is roughly twice the size of Earth. They busted it apart just by flying straight through it. So yeah, the higher tier Viltrumites are incredibly powerful, and Invincible is basically the strongest and most powerful out of all of them. He got a few upgrades throughout the series. First off, when he actually started working out, that began to increase his strength. Then after his first fight with Thrag, when Thrag nearly killed him, well, Adam Eve rebuilt his body back and stronger than ever, to the point where now Invincible could actually challenge Thrag straight up. He could throw 100,000-ton spaceships into lower orbit, decapitate some of Thrag's kids, or kill them with just 1 or 2 hits. They were literally splattering against him and killing themselves just by trying to hurt him. And at the end of the series, he didn't just beat Thrag in a fight, but he also beat Alan the Alien in just a few hits, who's just as powerful as the strongest Viltrumites out there. One time in a crossover event that is canon, Invincible managed to push a moon out of its orbit and send it hurtling into the surface of Mars. Yeah, no doubt about it, Mark ends up being the strongest hero in Invincible. It's also insanely tough. Like, really tough. Before he even started working out, well, Mark was able to be hit with electricity 10 times as powerful as lightning, meaning that it was 500,000 degrees, or the same heat as the second hardest part of the sun. And after he began working out, Invincible survived a special nuke that the Mauler twins came up with that was like a million nukes all packed into one. Invincible survived. He's taken punches from Solar Man in a crossover, a dude who's a casual planet buster. He survived explosions that legit vaporized a city. Not destroyed, vaporized. He took blasts from Universa and her staff. Staff so powerful that it could destroy the world and drain the planet dry. Even in his final fight against Thrag, while Invincible and Thrag legit fought in the sun for 23 pages straight in the comic. They were in the sun up to 2 million degrees Fahrenheit. Not just that, but surviving solar flares, which erupt with the force of millions of nuclear bombs. And while Invincible did need Robot to come in and save him so he didn't burn up, it's still incredibly impressive that he was able to survive for just as long as he did. Then lastly, speed. And all Viltrumites are able to ignore gravity and move around at faster than light speeds, as they're actually able to bypass the speed of light altogether by subspace jumping their atoms. And Invincible can definitely do this, move at faster than light speeds. In fact, he's one of the fastest ones there is, even just busting through that planet Viltrum, while Invincible had to move faster than light speed to do it. And this is just common routine for Mark. While he's flying around or even during his fights against other Viltrumites, he's repeatedly moving at faster than light speeds. No question about it. At the end of the day, Invincible is without a doubt the strongest, most powerful Viltrumite out there, and he definitely proved that by the end of the series, beating Thrag in a fight in the sun. He's massively faster than light speed. He's class Z in terms of lifting strength, meaning he can lift moons or small planets. He's durable enough to survive small planet level attacks, and is powerful enough to dish out small planet attacks in return. Basically, Invincible comes in at small planet level in power. No doubt about it, he is the greatest Viltrumite there is. Son Gohan is the son of Goku, a half-breed Saiyan and one of the most powerful characters in all of Dragon Ball. Unlike his dad, Gohan is actually a brilliant scholar, doesn't have the same passion and love for fighting. But when his family or friends are threatened, well, then he'll start throwing hands. And even though he doesn't really like fighting, well, he still has spent most of his life helping to defend the Earth, always there to turn the tide when the true extent of his power is finally unleashed. Despite the fact that Gohan doesn't like fighting, he's actually a fighting prodigy. His innate talent and potential actually exceeds his own father, which makes Gohan one of the most powerful mortal warriors in both Universe 7 and even the entire multiverse. And not just that, but Gohan's potential growth rate is seemingly infinite, and he grows in power much, much faster than other Saiyans. Both Goku and Vegeta agree that Gohan's potential exceeds their own, and even after Goku perfected Ultra Instinct, while both Piccolo and Whis both still believed that Gohan could still potentially surpass him, with Whis even believing that Gohan was a good candidate to become a god of destruction. Gohan has always had tremendous strength, even as just a kid or a teen, and especially when he's unleashed as a Super Saiyan. Now, his lack of training does kinda hold him back sometimes, but with Gohan's insane potential and exponential growth, whenever he gets back into training, well, he's pretty quickly right back at where he last left off. As just a toddler, he was already capable of not only surviving Piccolo's brutal training, which is a feat in and of itself, but actually thrived from it. And so for the next 6 months straight, Piccolo and Gohan spent nearly every waking moment of their lives sparring, and Piccolo made it abundantly clear that he wasn't pulling any punches. Nevertheless, despite being at a clear disadvantage, Gohan actually managed to push Piccolo hard enough during their training that Piccolo's power level went up from 400 to 3500. And at just 5 years old, Gohan was able to fight against both Vegeta and Frieza, fighters with literally decades of skill and experience. And all of this natural ability is only compounded when Gohan goes Super Saiyan. When Gohan hit Super Saiyan 2, he could toy with Perfect Cell of all people, who was the most powerful being in the whole universe at the time, with the cumulative fighting skills of every single Z fighter. And again, all of this is Gohan as a kid. And obviously, Gohan has just gotten more and more powerful as the years have gone on, especially now that he's an adult. Prior to the Tournament of Power as a Super Saiyan, Gohan could match Super Saiyan Goku. And after unleashing his hidden potential, which, once again, Vegeta said was greater than his and Goku's power and potential, Gohan could easily overwhelm and beat up on Super Saiyan 2 Goku. And then Goku went Super Saiyan Blue in order to fight against Gohan at his full strength, and Gohan was still able to fight evenly with Goku. Then during the Tournament of Power, Gohan did extremely well both in his base and ultimate form, fighting against the likes of Dispo or Kefla, and he was so impressive that both Piccolo and Krillin came to the belief that Gohan could actually surpass his dad Goku if Gohan dedicated himself to fighting and training. And then we can jump forward to Gohan at his best, his Beast Mode. He tapped into this mode after believing that Piccolo had died during a fight with Cell Max. Gohan was completely unfazed by attacks from Cell Max, was able to knock Cell Max back in return, and when Cell Max launched out his most powerful attack, Gohan was actually able to contend with it with a beam of his own, eventually overwhelming Cell when Trunks and Goten jumped in to help him. Just by entering into Beast Mode, both Goku and Vegeta were able to sense the power change all the way from Beerus's planet. And when Goku brought Gohan to Beerus's planet, Gohan was able to fight against both Trunks and Goten at the same time. Then facing off against his father, Gohan Beast and perfected Ultra Instinct Goku fought. Gohan's berserk amplified power and speed actually allowed him to land some blows on Goku, while Goku's autonomous Ultra Instinct and superior combat skill helped to balance things out on his end, resulting in a pretty even battle between the two. Ultimate Gohan then went on to fight base form Broly and easily overwhelmed him of Beast, and even after Broly achieved his controlled legendary Super Saiyan state, Gohan Beast still held the edge over him. And even after all these consecutive battles, Gohan Beast still had enough power left over to fight against Vegeta in his perfected Super Saiyan Blue state. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now let's just cut to the chase. There's really no way that Invincible is going to be able to beat Gohan or even give Gohan a good fight. Not now that Gohan is tapping into a whole new power tier of Beast Gohan. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's basically on par with MUI Goku at this point. So like multiversal power. The greatest feat in all of Invincible is the 3 Viltrumites teaming up to destroy a planet. While you can argue that it's a bigger and denser planet than the Earth, even then you also gotta factor in that it was 3 Viltrumites to do it, and Space Racer had to shoot the planet with his gun in order to destabilize the core, or else they wouldn't have even been able to do it, might have been killed in the process. Now, Invincible has gotten more powerful from here, to the point where you can argue he's planetary just on his own because of how he could fight against Thrag. And truly, at the end of the series, when he's an adult, well, you can argue he's even more powerful then too. And maybe if you really scale him up to the best he could possibly be, multiplanetary. Maybe, at his absolute best. That's nothing in Dragon Ball. King Vegeta was destroying multiple planets with just the wave of his hand years ago. Everyone has gotten infinitely more powerful since then, including Gohan. You can't argue that Invincible is beating Gohan even as a team. Gohan was way too powerful even then. The only one that's even close is putting Invincible up against a 5-year-old. Even then, Gohan might take it. It's closer. Invincible still comes with his planet level strength, and he's infinitely faster than the speed of light. Viltrumites are able to travel countless light years in just days or weeks at the longest, and their travel speed and combat speed is directly proportional to each other, so he's just as fast in a fight when he wants to be. But even then, when Kid Gohan got angry, he was beating up Frieza. I don't even know if Invincible is powerful enough to beat the 5-year-old. Either way, this fight is just not even remotely close. Probably never has been, and with Beast Gohan, never will be. Gohan wins for sure.